Hello everyone, this is Highlander from MTG Cardsmith doing another custom Magic the Gathering card review, and today we're reviewing a card by Ashdust, for real this time. The last video I said was by Ashdust, and it actually wasn't, it was by Rainlord, so I have to fix that in somehow. Because I'm dumb and tired after a long day's work. But we press on. What do we got here? We got the Elder War, a legendary enchantment. Blah, 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 blah. It's Jund, but extra red. It's 5 mana, double red. A mythic. People love their mythics, man. Okay. So let's see what we got going on. We have, at the beginning of each player's combat phase, that player may tap any number of target creatures they control. If they do, those creatures each fight a different target creature an opponent controls. Burgent and Aerosol, two planes connected through the interplanar road, feuded recently, fighting a war that lasted millions of years. That's a long war, dude. Millions of years? Millions of years. Dude, millions of years? Do you know how long a million years is? A million-year war? I mean, I've heard of a 1,000-year war, but even that's absurd. You know how long wars last in our world? I don't know, like 4 or 5 years are like the long ones. How long was World War II? Let's see. World War II length 39 to 45, so six years. Okay, so I was off by 1. But yeah, so like 6 years. That's a long war. A million years. A million years. A million years. All right. I know this is, I know like nobody cares about this except for me, but it's breaking my immersion, man. A million years. They have to all be dead. If they were fighting for a million years, I mean, how is it possible that there's even people left to fight the war after a million years of fighting? Unless they're doing cyber like attacks. Anyway, all right, enough about that. All right, so basically at the beginning of each player's combat step, their player may tap a number of creatures. Blah, blah, blah. If they do, those creatures each fight a different target creature an opponent controls. All right, so you play this. Goes to your combat phase. You tappity, kill all their stuff. And then it goes to their phase. They don't have anything left, so you win. That's not exactly how this card works, but okay. So let's think of a couple scenarios. So let's say like, okay, you play this on 5. So okay, so let's say like you've got like a 3/3 and a 4/4, and they've got like, I don't know, a 5/5. Okay, in that case, you're not playing this because if you did, like, yeah, you could like fight with the 3/3 so your 4/4 can attack through, but like you just get 2 for 1 there. So you wouldn't do that. You would only play this if you're ahead on board. So it's not really a card you can use to like come back unless you can like make some good trades. So like, okay, so let's say you each have a 4/4 and a 5/5. Let's say you got like a 4/4 and a 5/5, and they have a 4/4 and a 6/6. Let's just think about that. So you play this, you use your 5/5 to kill their 4/4, and now you have a 5/5 and a 4/4, and they have a 6/6, but you still can't attack really. And now they get a good, but then it goes to their turn, and they just get to kill your 5/5. So This card is only good if you are already winning, it feels like. Right? Because basically, like you're not going to want to play this if they have a creature that can fight any of your creatures well. So, okay, so I guess at parity also works. Well, maybe, right? So I don't want to think of a scenario where there's like a huge board because good lord, I don't even want to. Um, but essentially, like, if okay, so let's say you're at parity. If you're at parity, you basically play this and get to wipe their board, essentially, and then they just lose. Right? If you're ahead, you get to play this and wipe their board, and then they just lose. If you're behind, this card doesn't do anything. It makes you lose harder. Yeah, the other thing too is you get to tap creatures that you have played. So like, what you could do is like you wipe their board, and I like your board just tap down, and they go to their turn. They play a larger creature, and now they kill your biggest creature. But then they're tapped down, so now they can take like 1,000,000 damage. Or you can just play another big creature and kill their guy. Yeah, I mean this card is sort of a win more card here. I mean I'm not in love with this one. The other thing too that's kind of funny about this is it's called the Elder War, and it says that the war has lasted 1,000,000 years. But in truth, when you play this card, it just ends the game. Everything, you just slaughter their entire board, basically, right? So it's like, well, that war didn't last 1,000,000 years. That war lasted one turn, and now the war's over, and I've won because they don't have anything left. So yeah, I can't say I'm a huge fan of this one. It's like a reusable one-sided board wipe when you're ahead. But it doesn't have any of the advantages of a board wipe when you're behind. So it's like, basically, this card is kind of like an Armageddon. Okay, so if you guys don't know Armageddon, which I think a lot of people do, but Armageddon. I'm not talking about the movie with what's his face. All right, so destroy all lands. Okay, so the way this card plays out is you're playing mono white. You're playing white weenie, right? You go 1, 2, 3. You do your curve. If they have a little bit of a slow start, bam, destroy all lands, and now they can't win the game because you have who knows 7 power worth of creatures on board, and they have nothing, and they can't recover. Right? That's kind of how this card plays out. It's like if you're already winning, you just seal the deal essentially. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of this one. It's pretty unfun to play against. I mean, it's like sometimes this card is just going to destroy your opponent, and it's not even going to be close, and they're going to be not that thrilled about it. And sometimes it's going to be stuck in your hand because you're losing, and you'll really never ever want to cast it. Because like even in a situation where you could like, you'd be like, oh, they're beating me down with creatures, and finally you get to get one creature stick. You play this, you like fight one of their creatures, but then all of a sudden your guy's tapped out. So now you take 1,000,000 damage, and then they play something that can fight your guy, and they continue to win. Of course, that's assuming that your creature stays on the board after you play it. If you're behind, right? So yeah, I'm not a big fan of this one. Some ways you could improve this. I think if each player could only tap one creature they controlled, instead of any number, I think that would make a pretty big difference. First of all, that would lead more to a 1,000,000-year war rather than a one-turn war. But secondly, it prevents the situation where you just play this and wipe their board. It becomes a little bit more of a back and forth game. But it still doesn't really solve the problem of being a win more card. It just sort of makes it a little bit less dominant when you're winning. So yeah, I have to say I'm not huge on this one. If this was like a sorcery, I would be a little bit happier with it. Um, but it's still, again, it's still a win more card even in that situation. Um, so yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this one. I mean, flavor wise, it's kind of neat, except for the fact that it's not a Million Year War; it's a 1 turn war. So that's a little bit of a fail. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think the Elder War. I'm gonna have to give this one, I think, a 5 out of 10. I just don't think this is a very good design for a, you know, it's just sort of a feel bad card all around. You know, either you feel bad because you're losing and you can't play it, or your opponent feels bad because you slam this and you just destroy their board and they just lose on the spot essentially, right? So yeah, I think I got to go with a 5 out of 10 for the Elder War. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.